Hello everyone, I'm here to announce Hetti from Metala Vienna. He will be talking about ransomware. Thank you.
So, hello everybody. Thanks for coming. So, I will tell you today about ransomware, so data encryption made easy. First of all, the word ransomware. So ransom is English for blackmailing, so ransom. And like the ware is like the known suffix for all the stuff like hardware, software, and so on. So let's start with the history of ransomware. So it started even earlier than I was born. So 1989, it started with the H Trojan disk. It was distributed via infected floppy disk on a H conference. And the developer was caught and put into jail. And it was really interesting how the ransomware was spread around the world. So it even was found years later in other countries. And even it was transported over floppy disk. Then couple years later, so 2005, there was like the first internet attack with ransomware. It was the Trojan PGP coder.a. The malware developer wanted a couple of $100 of ransom to decrypt the files again. So today there are like a lot of infections. You read all about ransomware in the news, and a lot of companies get hit by it. So in the meantime, a lot of big companies get affected, also small ones. And it's quite a problem in the business that it also causes a lot of money loss for companies if they get hit by it. So there is estimation that around 1/4 of the people pay the ransom. So I mean, the estimated number is for sure higher, but there are not like all the data here to say how much people really paying the ransom. There are different versions of ransomware, so there's a selection of them. There are even more of this. There's like Locky, Tesla CryptoWall, Petya, Server, CTB Locker, and even more like WannaCry. And here I have made some colors here. Maybe you don't see it quite well, but the greens are ransomware which can get decrypted by decryptors. They're just tools that you can unlock your files for free. And the red one are like still ransomware which are no decryptor available. So ransomware in reality, that's an example from 2000, it was 2006, yes. So like 1.5 years ago, a hospital in the US got hit by ransomware. And yeah, the ransom was 40 Bitcoins. So that's quite a lot of money. In that time it was not so a lot, but still. It was around 15,000 euro of Bitcoin they wanted. And the hospital paid the ransom. So they paid 15,000 euro to get the files back. I mean, they could like invest the money in their backup strategy or something like this, but they really paid 40 Bitcoins to the malware developer. Then there is another one, Popcorn Time. It's also fun ransomware because when you get hit by it, it decrypts your files, and you have also a countdown here of 7 days, and you have to choose. You can pay the ransom and get your files back, or you infect 2 other friends of you, and if they pay, you get your files back. So it's like, yeah, snowball effect. So pay the ransom or infect 2 other friends, which then pay the ransom, you get your files back. Another ransomware, it's quite interesting, it's GoldenEye. It's one of the Petya ransomware. And the thing is, they send applications for jobs to companies, but they really spend specific applications. Like if you have some application for a programmer, they send an application as a programmer and not a generic one. And with this, they really improve the rate that people in the HR open the mail attachments and open the files. So if you like also have the part of social engineering, like doing specific attacks like applicate for the job, then you can really have even more infections because people get tricked in it and open the files and then ransomware starts to do their stuff. You also probably heard of WannaCry, this ransomware in May, which affected a lot of computers because there was a 0-day in Windows, and a lot of companies got hit by it, and it was a big financial loss for a lot of companies. And yeah, so yeah, Milovit was not amused, I think. But yeah, what would Tonemir do? So Tonemir is a guy of me, so I think there are two options what he would do. So the first one is probably like ID department, have you try turning off and on again? I mean, it wouldn't help, but I think the other one would be better. So if you could update Windows right now, that would be great, because the exploit was patched 2 months earlier. So if the people would update their Windows at the time, then they wouldn't get hit by the ransomware by WannaCry. So they missed to update, they patched their systems, and therefore they got hit by ransomware. So I prepared for you a small guide to getting infected. So, I mean, you shouldn't like follow this, but you can see how you get infected by ransomware. So this is an example mail with links to ransomware. This is it was before GoldenEye. It was also a job application, but it was a generic one. So it wasn't written down for a specific job, just I want to apply for this job and here my stuff. And he wrote down, yeah, there's my Dropbox link. Please download my CV stuff because the attachment is too big. So they just put the Dropbox link there with infected files. So how you can get infected? So one thing is you can get infected by Office macros. So for Word or for Excel, there are a lot of macro stuff which can like download ransomware and just start it. But if you are a ransomware developer, you also wanted people like activate the Office macros because normally they are like disabled and you have to activate it manually. And they have quite some good strategies to trick people into activating the macros. So the next one is quite okay. I have other one also. So next one is like, yeah, you have a lot of gibberish in your world file, and it says there, yeah, enable macro if data encoding is incorrect. So people are, oh, it's broken, I will enable macro. And when they do that, the ransomware starts to start and encrypts your files. And yeah, you're like, need to pay or encrypt your files or recover your backup. But the next thing is much better. Yeah, it's some file with some blurred content, and yeah, it's sending it like due to security reasons, the content is blurred. Please enable the macros to see the content. So it's even better, and so people also get tricked into this if they don't know, and also get ransomware. Another thing is PDFs. So there are a lot of security holes in especially in the format or in the programs, like in Adobe Reader. So often also the people use 0 days. So the thing is, they use like unknown holes in the program, and with that they can like execute code on your computer and like just start ransomware. Another thing is if you have Adobe Flash Player, it's like that program which a lot of exploits and holes, and they like patch it like every month, every day. It's really they have a lot of exploits and bugs in there, and it's really one of these tools which you can get easily ransomware or malware in general on your computer. Another thing is Java drive-by attacks. So if you have Java enabled in your browser and go onto some interesting websites with like blinking stuff or other interesting content, you could get hit by Java drive-by attack. It starts Java in the background, downloads the payload, and just executes everything in the background, and you don't even know that something is happening on your PC. So that's normally Java is disabled, but if you enable it, then it could be a problem. So for understanding what happens exactly, So there are different methods how ransomware operates. So there are also different data and extensions which got encrypted. There is ransomware which encrypts everything except the Windows folder. There's ransomware which encrypts all the pictures and audio files and Word documents. So it really depends on the ransomware. So although they have blackmailing messages, so they tell you, yeah, your files are encrypted, please pay us 5 Bitcoins to get your files back. Then there's optional account downs, so people are really forced to pay because like in 24 hours one file gets deleted or in 60 minutes, depends on the ransomware. So this also forces people to pay even more because their files get deleted by the ransomware. So yeah, as I said, so files cannot be deleted by the ransomware, and it also could be possible that they blackmail you with the data, so they like tell you that they will release your files to the public if you don't pay the ransom. Or it's really a scenario which could happen, especially in companies. If you like have some attack on a company, and they will tell them, yeah, we will release your files if you don't pay our ransom. So how the files get encrypted? So the normal ways, they use symmetric AES for files. And then they encrypt the AES key with RSA public key. And normally on the server is the private key. And if you pay the ransom, you get the private key. And they've also provided tools. And you can then decrypt your files again. There are also other ways possible for encryption. So there is the Petya GoldenEye version 1. It encrypts the file system table. And the file system table is the table on the hard disk, which there states where are the files on the hard disk. And if you encrypt this file, you don't know where the files are on the hard disk, and you can't find them. And Windows can't even start because they don't know where are my Windows file, where are my pictures, and all that stuff. And they also encrypt the malware, the master boot recorder, and boot in their own system. And so here you can just recover files with some photo recovery tool, which like checks if there are photos on the hard disk. So this is a little bit better because it's easier to get your files back somehow. So also how to protect against ransomware. So the first thing is, make backups. It's very important because you can use it. It's like all-in-one solution. If your files are away, if your hard disk gets broken, or if your computer gets stolen, whatever. But yeah, if you don't use backups, then you can tell me more about this genius plan for data loss. There are various ways of backups. You can like just drag some single files and put it on a hard disk, external hard disk. You can make full image of the hard disk, incremental. You can do remote backups on your file server, or even differentials. You have a lot of possibilities to make your backup. And also you should think about software licenses. I recommend to put in some stash with all the software licenses together that you can just get it if you need them. There are user profiles of programs which you should care of, because normally in Windows they are hidden in some hidden folders for Firefox, for Thunderbird, for Outlook, whatever. So normally they are like, you have extra to enable hidden folders to see the files of the user profiles. And you should also watch out for passwords. Like normally they are also quite sensitive, and I recommend to use a password manager like KeePass, and then you have it all in one place and encrypted in your KeePass file. Another one important thing is copies. So copies of the files on a local computer are not safe, and also not on another partition of the same hard disk. So if you just have one hard disk and make two partitions and copy the files from one of the other one, they're still not safe. They will still get encrypted if you have mounted on the Windows, or they still are away if your PC gets stolen, or if the hard disk breaks. So I recommend get another external hard disk and put your files on there, because first of all, if your computer gets stolen, you still have the hard disk with the backups, and also you can put it on another, like in some safe or at some friends or whatever, so you can separate it. So yeah, backup all the things. It's really important. People really know it when they lost their data, that backups are really important. And the other important thing is like test your backups, because in the worst case scenario, backups doesn't work if you didn't test it, and then then you're like screwed. So testing is essential. There is a good example, maybe you heard of GitLab. It's like some source code repository tool, and they have like online services offering it for users and companies. And yeah, one guy was doing some maintenance and deleted the wrong database. And they had like, well, fuck, the database is away. So what to do? They tried to restore one backup, didn't work. They tried to restore the second backup strategy, didn't work. In the end, they had like 5 possible backup strategies, and one of them didn't work. So all in all, they just lost 6 hours of code and work because they didn't test their backup procedures. So and it was quite a loss, a lot of source code and data. I have some software recommendations. I searched for them. They are all for free, so they don't cost anything. There's like Paragon Backup Recovery for free. There is Areca Backup. It's in Java. It's working on Linux and on Windows. It has quite some settings, so you can put on an encrypt and password on your backup and so on. There's OMI Backupper, and also the Windows internal backup tool is quite good, so it's easy to use and it makes full backups of your hard disk. So if you need something easy, so go for the Windows internal backup tool. Also, have an up-to-date antivirus software if you even have one. It's a nice to have, but it's not it will not protect you from viruses or malware. If it really is a good malware, it will just escape this or didn't even start, or because they have some techniques to like avoid antivirus software or just trick it that they don't hit the ransomware or the malware. Also very important is the operating system updating and browser and programs. Like I said, if you have some exploits and Adobe PDF Reader, you should update your Adobe PDF Reader and have then more secure programs. And also like the WannaCry example, if the sysadmins would have patched their systems 2 months earlier or 1 month earlier, they wouldn't get affected by WannaCry, but they missed it. So all in all, it was a big mess for them. Very important is also to turn on the Windows file extension, because at default it's disabled, and so you don't see the real file extension, because in these settings you see the file extension, but if you have some file with some known file extension, you don't see it. Like you can make a file like invoice.pdf.exe executable, and you will just see invoice.pdf. And if you enable this, you will see invoice.pdf.exe and you see it's executable. Another thing is like deactivate Adobe Flash Player. The better thing is to deinstall it. I mean, if you really want to play your Flash games, get the virtual machine and then play it on them. Because it's even in some of the next browser versions will be not supported anymore, and there are much way better alternatives like HTML5 to use. Also, emails and attachments mistrust. So if you get some shady emails, you should like think about, should I open the attachment? And it could also happen that you get the email from a person you know, and it's like shady with some shady attachments. So the best thing is that you don't open it and call this person or write her a mail, maybe this, or him or her, maybe this person don't know that is infected with malware, because malware can just start and write to the whole address book emails with attachments, and the person don't even know that it's infected with some malware. So if you get some shady stuff per mail, with mail from people you know, probably ask them if they really sent this mail or they just maybe don't know that they're infected. Also, one thing is, no administrator privileges. Work with limited user rights, because it don't helps you, so it don't protect you from ransomware. Your home directory will still be encrypted, but you will not encrypt the the files of your sister's account or your mother's account or other accounts, so only your own files are get encrypted, and so it's less damage done then. And it also provides some false security because people think if they work with limited user rights that they're not affectable by malware or don't get infected, but that's just false. So you'll still get affected, but it will be just less damage done. Yeah, also no plugin of unknown flash drives. They're quite used for different stuff like infecting your PC with some malware. And there also, I don't have here a picture, but there's also USB killer. It destroys your hardware because it just puts some hundred of volts into your motherboard and it's broken. There are quite some fancy videos about this. Also, if you have some suspicious file you got per mail on the thumb drive, or some friend show his laptop and said there are some interesting files, you want to see it, you can check them online on virustotal.com. Please don't upload private data because you don't know what will happen with that afterwards. And it will be checked by a lot of antivirus engines, like around 40 virus scanners will check it, and they will get the result if they found something in the file. Another protection is like use Linux. There are a lot of user-friendly systems, Ubuntu, Linux Mint, Debian, OpenSUSE. So there are a lot of interesting distributions and quite a lot of which are really user-friendly. And I mean, there are also ransomware for Linux and for macOS, but Windows is like the most platform which people are using it. So it's like the most interesting platform that malware developer target because the most users are there and the most users clicking on attachments and opening them. And also very important is like brain exe, you must. So the user is like the person which opens normally the attachments, which gets the email, which interacts with the computer. So normally you are the user which are like opening your files, and therefore probably you should think another time if you want to open this file. Backups. So probably heard of it already. It's, as I said, quite important, and it's all-in-one tool for your problems. And people really, when they lost their files, they really then know I should have had a backup, and then I really probably will do it the next time. A small summary if you get infected. So turn off the computer immediately. You can boot a live system from a flash drive or a CD or DVD with Linux. You can then try to detect the ransomware type with the file extension or with the file name. And then you should also try to rescue some data which is not encrypted already. Then reinstall the operating system, because I think if you don't reinstall the system, I'm not sure if my system is clean if I just cleaned with some antivirus products. So I really have trust in my system if I really reinstall it from the beginning, because it could be somewhere in the hidden folder some files which can just start again and download some other malware. And yeah, restore your backup. So that's also quite important. So you have no backup. As I said, go for it. Make backups will make your life easier. And yeah, I bring some files with me. So it's demo time. So I have some. So let's start. So that's my virtual machine. I just have to switch the screen. So this is my virtual system. So I'm not doing it on my live system, but so I'm using Ubuntu But one guy used Wine, that's an emulator for Windows and Linux, and he just started ransomware on it, and it worked. So he got his file encrypted on his Linux system with a Windows ransomware. So it could work. So first of all, I have here some files. I have some wallpaper pack, I have a music pack, and I have some 50 Office files. And there is one interesting thing. I will just get this thingy here. So you see here there is an XLT file in caps lock, and I will start a ransomware later, which will show you interesting behavior. First of all, I have some samples here, so I called the folder the chosen one. So let's quit this. So we have, first of all, this one. It's not working, sadly, but this is the file which is used for from the GoldenEye. So they attached some competence profile with the logo of the German. I should have done it before. So this is the logo of the German thing where you get if you get unemployed. So, and it's telling me, yeah, please activate the macros to see the competence profile of the person. And in the end, there is a ransomware behind, some Visual Basic script. So if I just click it now in my machine, so I will activate now the macros. And the thing is, it will start, and then there will appear a error message. Sadly no error message. That's sad. No demo gods with me. But well, then let's check it in. So in Office it's quite easy because you just need to click it up in the settings there, and you just activate it. I have also LibreOffice Calc, so the free Word alternative. And here it's better because you really have to go deep into the settings so you get the thing the document as macros, and yeah, you have to actually go into extras, options, LibreOffice security to enable the macros. So you have to really go deep into the settings to enable it even. So let's do this time. So it's not so easy to activate for normal users. So I go to security, macro security. Okay, it's high. So I see, okay, it's low. Let's do this. Okay, let's close it again. So it's now it will just do open every macro which it see. So let's open it again. And so I just opened it and it started, and I got the error. It's seems like some Visual Basic stuff as a macro. In Microsoft Office you get the debug message, and here you get a runtime error. So you see it's like some encrypted Visual Basic code. It's obfuscated, and you really don't have a clue what is running around. But it put some characters together and will probably load some files and execute the ransomware. But I have also some working examples for you. So first of all, I will show you the jigsaw. So you see I enabled already, let's put the loop again here. So I enabled the ending of the known files of Windows. So you see it's a jigsaw.pdf.exe. And if I disable it, so this is the standard. So standard settings from Windows is that you just see jigsaw.pdf. And so you just know that here if it's standing like it's executable, and if you check out the settings, the files of the stuff, you see it's also executable. And the other fun thing about this file is also if you check like here the details of the file. First see it's called here, description of the file is Firefox. it's executable. And the other funny thing is, if you go down there, you see the original file name is bitcoinblackmailer.exe. Okay. But I'm a normal user. Normally I will not check the file stuff, so I'll just think, okay, it's a cool invoice. I will just open it. Then there is coming some, okay, now you see there is a USC. There's also ransom which don't trigger the user access control of Windows, but this one does. So you say, okay, it's still an invoice. I will just let it run. Then suddenly some Dropbox.exe pops up, want to start. I see, okay, I didn't want to install Dropbox, but okay, it's fine. Then some message appears like, thank you. There's a red cross, like, congratulations, your software has been registered, confirmation code, blah, blah, blah. Email us this code to activate your software. There is no chat, there is no email address, so where's the general code? I say, okay, it's great. So we check out the task manager now. We have here some processes, and the funny thing is, there is Dropbox.exe as the file that I started, but it has the description Firefox. So it's really bad implemented. So if you check the Windows Task Manager, you see the Dropbox.exe file, but it's called Firefox. Okay. You will see it has a quite high CPU load, like 100% nearly. And so let's check out our files. So I have my wallpaper back. It's still okay. I can just still see the wallpapers. Like check the Pokemon wallpaper, great. But it's already doing the encryption, so it's starting it nearly, and you will see it's then quite fast. I mean, that's a virtual machine. In normal also it's even faster on a normal PC, and often they also use the hardware AES tool for this. So there's the special chips for encryption which make it easier. So it's everything already encrypted. So it's already nearly done. So it goes quite fast after this small moment. So everything's already encrypted. It made .fun files. It's really funny for me now. And so the funny thing is I wanted to show you is I told you about the files from Office, and there is this file here. It was not encrypted because it had XLT as caps. So you can see here it's a XLT caps, and it just ignored it. So it's not case sensitive. So here's now our fancy message, like your computer files have been encrypted, your photos, videos, documents, and so on. But don't worry, I have not deleted them yet. That's quite kind of him. So I have 24 hours to pay 150 bitcoins, $150 in bitcoins in the stated address to get the decryption key. And to enforce you to pay the money, they will delete every hour files, and increasing in amount of every time. And after 72 hours, all the files will be deleted. So you have like 72 hours to pay the ransom, because else all the files are away. And here's just the text. The ransomware, it's even really bad because I have to open it to see the whole text. And there are also ransomware developers which also have really like customer service. Like they offer you a support chat. There are people who have like some numbers you can call for voice support. The people make you like guides how to get Bitcoin, send you addresses. So there was one case where some barber shop got infected with ransomware and didn't have the money to pay everything. So I think they got to the support chat, and they said, we are a barber shop, we don't have enough money. Can we like get some discount or something like this? And said, okay, just pay us like $100 and it's okay. So they get like for $100 the file decrypted. So we are here. We have like here our countdown. So 1 hour. Then will be one file will be deleted. And they have also a service. They show you which files are encrypted. Let's see. So I can check out what I should get out of my backup again. So I see, okay, my computer is encrypted. Oh my god, I will just turn my computer off. Okay, let's start this. I will shut down. Well, you're about to make a very bad decision. Are you sure about it? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I will just shut it down. And the thing is, normally, I don't know what will happen now, but if I reboot the system again, sometimes it deletes some files of the system. So it would be better if I just turn it off when it started to encrypt the files. So we're starting my machine again. And let's see what happens. So Windows is starting. Oh, there is somehow some Firefox.exe in my startup files. I mean, I didn't know that to put in my startups, but okay, I will just execute it. I don't know, it's funny because, yeah, when I start my computer, I want to surf on internet, so okay. And, yeah, we will check out the task manager. Here, Firefox is starting, needs some CPU load. Let's check it where it is. It's in app data roaming FRFX folder. Okay. Well, let's check again the details of the tool. Let's see. At least it has now the right file name with the right description. And let's check out the file description. Details. Oh, it's still our ransomware. So it just renamed the file and put it into the startup folder and is starting again. So then it will pop up and just tell me again that my files are encrypted, and it will maybe tell me that some files will get deleted. So, well, let's check out the other one. I have some more for you. So let's restore. I have a snapshot that's quite good because, yeah, it's easier to just start again. It's not so easy on Windows. If you have backups, you will need some time to recover it. But on the virtual machine, you can do it quite easy and play around. And also, I have here, yeah, I have here also file share. But it's only read-only. I will not encrypt my own files on my live system. And I have here all the files I need with some samples. So the next thing I want to show you is called the Petya thing. So here you can see it quite good. So I will also do this again. So you have here like some PDF logo. And it's like Rechnung, so invoice.pdf.exe. And if I just again disable the options, I will just see invoice.pdf. So now I just see invoice.pdf. And this one even don't need user access control. This one needs, but there's another one which don't need it. So again, a prompt. Now it's executable. I see, okay, it's still an invoice. Let's do this.
The previous malware had two confirmations that you wanted to run them.
Yes.
There's a third one asking some stupid question, or saying it has been registered.
Yes.
What was that for?
I don't know. It's like, hey, cool, you got just registered for some stuff.
Okay.
Maybe they thought it was fancy to give some people pop-ups to click OK.
Okay.
So it's for sure a legit invoice. Let's see what will happen. Let's close this one. So we check our task manager. There is still again something running here. I don't see. There's my invoice running with some CPU, needing some CPU, and yeah, it will be quite fast. Yeah, okay. My VM is just shut down. Interesting. Normally you get the blue screen. So you get the blue screen, and then it restarts. So I will just start it. Okay, let's see what happens. there is a check disk, and it's quite fast, and it's a fake check disk. It's not the real one, and it's like checking your disk. And while it's doing this, it's encrypting your files. So the file system table, as I stated before, so it encrypts the file system table of Windows that you don't know where the files are located on the hard disk. And it's quite a fast check disk, so it's not a real one. And there isn't even the possibility to abort it. So it's normally you have the possibility to abort it, and you get like, do you really want to check it and so on? But this just starts and encrypt the files. So let's add a little bit. Nearly finished, and okay, and then I created my master boot recorder and just put in this screen. As okay, I press a key. Well, they have a hidden service on Tor. You can reach with Tor, and they say, yeah, go to this address, and they even say, hey, if you don't have the Tor browser, go to this web page and download it, and if you need help, please Google for access onion page. So they really tell you what to do to get to this onion page, and they have their personal decryption code there, and if you pay, you can get the key and decrypt your files. So I say, okay, well, let's reset my machine, maybe it helps. So I reset. Let's see. Oh, it's still there. Oh my God, what to do? So even if you restart your machine, it's still coming this screen there, and you will have your files encrypted. Well, let's reset again and get another clean version of my machine. I have still some more samples. You can't have enough ransomware samples. So if you need some later, you can talk with me, I can give you some samples. There is even a Git repository where they have malware, where you can download it and check it out. It's really good. There is another one. It's called ransomware. It's quite fun because it don't want Bitcoin of you. It wants that you download a game, install this game, and play this game, and get, I think, 2 billion points in this game. And the game is quite hard. I will check out a YouTube video for you then. And it's really hard. And so it will just need a time. It will also already encrypted my files here. It's starting. This already encrypted. It's with ransomware ending extension. And I mean, it's when it pops up, it's quite a cute anime screen there. You will see in a second. At least they have some fancy GUI, but still your files are encrypted. So it needs some memory. Like it already needs the whole 2 gigabytes of memory, like everything it has, and will just pop up in some seconds the screen of the ransomware. So as I told you, so your system has been encrypted by ransomware. So yeah, it's also bad here. So it's not full screen. And yeah, what the hell is this? Some anime stuff, the Captain Murasa, and yeah, how I can recover my files. Yeah, that's easy. You just play TH12, undefined fantastic object, and score over 0.2 billion points. And well, let's check it out. It's a really hard game. I will show you. Yeah, so this is the game, and I will just get that's better one. So it's like this hard. So you see, you have to get 0.2 billion points, and I will just show you this scene here. Yeah, so you can imagine how hard this is to beat this game to get 0.2 billion points. And this is only 84,000 points. No, 84 million. So you still need more. So next I have one last more. I can show you another one. Let's restore again. I can show you one Word document where there is some JavaScript inside, which does some interesting stuff. And then I will show you a last ransomware sample, which I have here. So it should be, yeah, to check fast. So I will open it with WordPad, yeah. So if I open the WordPad, yeah, you see some fancy MasterCard logo. Wow, so fancy. And I think, I'm not sure if this has some stuff, so I will just, I can open it with the documents ransomware data. Oh, it's here, yeah. So if you and so there are embeddings, so that's my archive manager I open it with, and there are embeddings, and they're like object binary blobs. So let's see, there is nothing interesting. Maybe here. Yeah, that looks better. But I have another one which already, it was this one. So let's open it again with the archive manager, and here just see really that there are some JavaScript. So there's some obfuscated JavaScript inside, and when you started it, just I think this one starts a PowerShell script and installs some certificates on your computer, and then just do some interesting stuff. And you see it's like some C folder document Azaza, so some Azaza dude made this ransomware. And as a last thing, there's also some really weird ransomware. It's called Hitler ransomware with a typo in there. First of all, you see here, so it's a really shitty ransomware. So it's called Hitler ransom exe with some installer logo, and if you just execute it, okay. Yeah, there is this shit, and the thing is, it's really bad because it's really shitty implemented. My files are encrypted, and the thing is, it don't want bitcoins, it wants €25 Vodafone code for the telephone. So they want like cash cards for the phone, and it's, yeah. And I think if you reboot your Windows system, it's broken. Let's try it. Because even if I want to try to do the task manager, it don't work. I think they delete the Explorer.exe and so on. So let's restart my laptop, my virtual machine. Let's see what happens. Probably it's broken, my Windows, and yeah, I'm screwed. And it was, I think, just somehow put together by some children, and they just think, yeah, well, let's do some ransomware, and it's really bad done. There are some interesting blog posts about this ransomware, how bad it is. What the fuck? Okay, it works. Interesting. Ah, my files are all away. It deleted everything. Oh no. So all my files are away of the encrypted ones. Everything deleted. So it deleted everything from your hard disk. So you see, it still worked. It deleted all my files, so I can't get my files back. But okay. So let's get back to my presentation. So, do you have questions? Feel free to ask. Yes?
So what if you accidentally infect your backups as well?
Yeah, so if you have your hard disk for external hard disk for your backups and you just let it plugged in, it will get encrypted. It's not good, so please plug off your hard disk and you put the backup on it. But yeah, it's bad.
Does it actually delete the files or shred the files?
Which one? Ah, I didn't check, but I think it deleted really with remove.
With undelete, we can recover the files.
I think it's really deleted. You can't recover it with undelete.
So they are shredded.
I think it's shredded. I'm quite sure that it's shredded.
Is improving in social engineering. What do you think are the ways to actually get to spread the ransomware to users? Because that's usually the hardest part.
You mean what are the tactics to spread the ransomware? Yeah, like you make some fancy tools which people want to install, like Zelda the game for free.
Yeah.
People will download it. It really depends. So you can also use some holes or some infected thumb drives and just got spread. You have a lot of different things, but like the first source to get ransomware is often by mail attachment. So people just send out mail attachments and people just click on it and open it. But there are also really sophisticated attacks on companies which are really forced to infect the company. And I even heard of ransomware developer that attack specific companies that they get infected by ransomware, that the other company paid them because they get infected by ransomware, and so they can't release the product. And the other company have advantage and can release the product before. So it also it's quite in this way that people really pay that other companies get infected by ransomware and that they can release the product earlier. More questions? Else? Yeah, I have some sources in the slides. I will put in a thread. So Ransomware AT is a German website about ransomware. And the second link is the GitHub link to the repo with the malware. There's ransomware inside, other malware. You can check it out, but try it in your virtual machine, I recommend. Yeah, else, yeah, that's me. I'm Hetti from Metala Vienna. Thank you for listening, and that's my Twitter handle.